90-day fiancés Shekina Garner and Sarper Güven give confusing relationship update amid split rumors. Sarper Güven and Shekina Garner from 90-day fiancé have sparked major confusion with their latest relationship update, especially after Shekina recently hinted at a breakup. Sarper's controlling behavior on the other way raised red flags, but he appeared to change for the better. Once viewed as a franchise bad boy, Sarper won over fans, particularly after moving to the US to marry Shekina. However, Shekina has now cast doubt on his transformation, suggesting that Sarper may have only been pretending to change and that the man fans fell for might not be real after all. A major clue about Sarper and Shekina being married was recently spotted online amid Shekina claiming their relationship had hit a rough patch. However, everything seems to be okay now for the couple. Shekina recently told a fan on Instagram that they wouldn't see her and Sarper on the show in future seasons. Shekina's response was to the fan asking if she was going through a difficult time in her relationship with the Turkish man. However, Shekina and Sarper's joint Instagram page at Shekina Sarper 90-day tells a different story. Shekina posted a picture of her and Sarper kissing each other in downtown Los Angeles. She captioned it, "Nothing worth having comes easy." Shekina added that this was the reason why they were still out here working on keeping what we got. What Shekina's message about relationship with Sarper means amid split rumors. Shekina opened up about relationship struggles and hinted at possible breakup. Shekina first sparked speculation about a possible split when she shared a revealing note on Instagram, hinting at serious issues with Sarper. In the post, she opened up about what sucked in her relationship, describing how she felt ignored when she was hurt, sick, emotional, or lonely while her partner remained emotionally unavailable. She also claimed that Sarper threatened to leave her if she became too fat or too skinny. The message painted a painful picture of Shekina's experience, suggesting she was deeply affected by Sarper's toxic words and dismissive behavior. Shekina also gave a major clue about a possible breakup when she told followers she might never film another 90-day fiancé season due to how difficult her relationship with Sarper had become. While she stopped short of confirming a split, Shekina admitted that their relationship was far from easy. She revealed that living together in the US had only made things more challenging. Despite the tension, the couple's latest post carries a more positive tone, offering a glimmer of hope to fans who are rooting for Shekina and Sarper to work things out and stay together. Our take on Shekina confirming she's still with Sarper after hinting at show exit. Shekina and Sarper might be 90-day fiancé's next big comeback story. When Shekina first hinted at trouble with Sarper, fans began speculating whether the couple's next appearance would be on 90-day, the last resort. Some even suspected her family might be angling for a spin-off similar to the family Chantel. However, the more likely scenario seemed to be Shekina and Sarper pursuing couples therapy. Now, with their issues seemingly resolved and Sarper proudly wearing his wedding band in recent photos, the married couple appear to be back on track, suggesting a hopeful and stable future beyond 90-day fiancé. 90-day fiancé's Sarper Güven should never have been cast. His my geisha stuff, 2,500 body count and threats to leave Shekina make him an awful partner for a nice woman. Sarper Güven from 90-day fiancé is a terrible casting choice for the franchise, even though he claims to have changed himself since his debut season. Sarper was first seen in The Other Way Season 5 when Shekina Garner was moving to Turkey for him. Shekina's friends and family were not supportive of her decision, since Sarper was yet to make their relationship official on social media, and he had a colorful past he was proud of. Shekina didn't see it as a red flag that Sarper had a notebook filled with names of all the women he'd slept with. One of their most intense arguments happened when Sarper accidentally yanked out Shekina's hair extensions during a heated exchange. It seemed like that confrontation would end their relationship for good, but they ultimately made up. Sarper is now seeking sympathy for being the one who uprooted his life in Turkey to be with Shekina. He has managed to deflect much of the criticism he previously faced for his controlling behavior, such as insisting Shekina maintain a specific weight and altering her appearance to suit his preferences, including her nose. Sarper wants to be catered to. Sarper defended his love, but Shekina's sisters weren't buying it. 90-day fiancés Sarper traveled to Montana to meet Shekina's family with 70 days left on his visa to wed her. Sharia had already met Sarper before, and this was his first time trying to make a good impression on Ziona and Mariah. Sharia expected to see genuine growth in Sarper. She was under the impression that things were changing and evolving with him, but she was skeptical that his actions could back up these changes. She hoped that Sarper was genuine. Sarper told the cameras that he felt like an inmate going to execution. Shekina ×3, today. Shekina's sisters asked him how he was dealing with her triggers. He accused her of being possessive and territorial and claimed that she had never seen him talking to other women and lying about it. Shekina's sisters didn't trust Sarper and asked her if she went based off his word. Shekina assured Ziona that relationships were about trust, and she trusted Sarper. "If I had no trust in Sarper, what would be the point of me even being with him?" she asked. Shekina's sisters knew that she had a habit of seeing just the best in people and continuing to let things slide. "I will make her happy. I will do my best to be with her." Sarper insisted that he was the best partner Shekina could ever find, since they were also spending time getting to know each other, and that they were trying to find a balance. He mentioned how he saw that her sisters loved Shekina in their eyes. He mentioned Shekina telling him about how they were raised. Shekina interrupted Sarper to add they were homeschooled, lived rural lives, and didn't see people outside of their family every day. "Do you all have geisha vibes like her?" Shekina's sisters were taken aback when Sarper referred to them as geishas. He tried to explain the remark by saying that Shekina did everything, including cooking, working, and cleaning, suggesting she played a highly submissive role in their relationship. The sisters were clearly confused by where the conversation was headed. Shekina stepped in to clarify that Sarper meant she often did things for him without being asked. "And that's like geisha vibes," she said. Sharia, still skeptical, asked, "Does that include him telling you to keep your mouth shut," referencing a past incident? "Yeah," Shekina admitted. Sarper's body count bragging is off-putting. Sarper says he's changed. But his words tell a different story. If Sarper comparing Shekina to a geisha and asking her sisters if they were also submissive like her was inappropriate, some of the other things he said on the show were even more alarming. During his debut season, Sarper clung tightly to his self-styled bad boy image, frequently emphasizing how he was shedding that persona for Shekina. Despite being in his 40s, Sarper admitted he had never been in a serious relationship. Just a month before Shekina relocated to Turkey, he stunned her by claiming he had slept with over 2,500 women. It wasn't something Sarper should have been bragging about to a new partner. When he claimed to have slept with over 2,500 women, Shekina thought it was a joke or a typo. Maybe he meant 250, which still felt excessive, but something she was willing to overlook. Instead, Sarper clarified the real number was between 2,500 and 3,000. He insisted he had been 110% faithful to Shekina but criticized her for being too possessive. Despite his history, Sarper repeatedly claimed he had changed for her and was leaving behind his self-proclaimed bad boy image to prove it. "If I don't text you back for a while, you are kind of AB***********. Sarper boasted about his past, claiming he used to have sex with 4.5 women in a day, but insisted that was behind him now. Shekina, he said, was all he thought about. He admitted to having the worst resume on the planet and being with many women, yet claimed he had changed. Despite this, Sarper complained that Shekina still wanted more from him, even after all his supposed growth. He even suggested he was doing her a favor by not adding her name to his diary, which documented the 3,000 women he'd been with. Sarper keeps threatening to leave Shekina. When Shekina gave up everything, Sarper gave her the cold shoulder. Not long after Sarper convinced Shekina's sisters that he could be trusted, he came back home to Los Angeles with her and got into a terrible fight. Shekina had it all recorded as proof. Shekina had come home from work and cooked him a meal, only for Sarper to tell her he hated her and that he was leaving. "I really hate this life and I'm going back to my country," Sarper shouted at Shekina in the audio recording. While Shekina had made a list of things Sarper told her during the argument, he claimed he hadn't and accused her of lying. Sarper stopped talking to Shekina and began living like a stranger in her house. He was sleeping on the couch. It was his way of torturing Shekina according to his convenience. It was happening just because he was in a bad mood. He didn't appreciate the sacrifices Shekina had made for him. She didn't even have room for her own clothes in her closet. Shekina was making big adjustments to fit Sarper into her life, but he didn't appreciate it. Sarper knew that Shekina was not going to leave him. The 90-Day Fiancé star didn't deserve this treatment. 90-Day Fiancé, Sarper Güven's bad boy to good boy transformation is an act, he will never change. Sarper Güven might have fans thinking he's gone from bad boy to dream guy, but not everyone's buying the transformation. The 90-Day Fiancé star made waves on The Other Way Season 5 with Shekina Garner, showing off his over-the-top confidence and controlling habits. From constantly reminding Shekina that he's been with over 2,500 women to nitpicking Shekina's appearance and weight, Sarper raised more than a few eyebrows. He may be turning on the charm now, but is it a real change or just a cleverly polished act? Sarper insulted Shekina in front of her sister, and during an argument that reportedly turned physical, he even pulled out Shekina's hair. His vanity was not the only red flag, there were many others that Shekina chose to ignore. Despite his behavior, she agreed to marry him and brought him to the U.S. Once in America, Sarper seemed to adopt a new persona. He suddenly became more likable to fans, while Shekina began to appear controlling. This drastic shift raised questions. Was Sarper's transformation genuine, or was it something he had planned all along? Sarper's jab at Dan was a low blow. Sarper is trying to distance Shekina from her friends. Sarper had his first stand-up comedy show in America in episode 13 and was full of confidence. With a colorful past and no work permit yet, he figured open mics were a good way to share his experiences and maybe earn some laughs. But Shekina had her doubts, warning him that what he found funny might not land the same way with an audience. She was right. Sarper's jokes, loaded with awkward sexual innuendos, fell flat. To make matters worse, he took an unnecessary jab at Dan, who had shown up just to support him. Let's imagine you are all sexually healthy and attractive men. Okay? Even you, Dan. Just imagine. I know it's hard. Shekina felt embarrassed by Sarper's unnecessary dig at Dan and wanted the awkward situation and the show to be over. While she tried to stay supportive, she made it clear that her friends were like her chosen family, especially since she had a strained relationship with her biological family. Dan was someone she deeply valued. She warned Sarper that if her friends started to dislike him, it would cause serious problems in their relationship. Shekina had been down that road before with exes who clashed with her inner circle, and, as she put it, it was hell to deal with. Sarper is still in America. Sarper threatened Shekina that he was going back to Turkey. Sarper had a good time in Montana meeting Shekina's family. He somehow managed to impress them and seemingly also fooled them into believing he had changed. However, once they came back to Los Angeles, Sarper got into a major argument with Shekina over practically nothing. He called her useless and said that her face was his problem, especially after Shekina had come home from a long day at work and cooked a hot meal for him. Sarper told Shekina, "I'm going back to my country." Sarper told his cousin that he'd almost even booked his flight tickets for Turkey. Interestingly, these events may have been filmed a year ago. Sarper is still in America, and from the looks of it, he is thriving. Now that he has a work permit, Shekina seems to have helped him get a job that he enjoys in Hollywood. Sarper does something called a boot laugh, which is a 1-hour non-stop dance and workout session with comedy, exercise, and dance. Sarper has made Los Angeles his home, and he fits right in, suggesting that all his homesickness and threats about leaving were just him creating drama. Shekina has made more sacrifices than Sarper. Sarper is playing the victim, he accuses others of doing it. Sarper made the environment in Shekina's house tense and awkward. She took him to some parties in LA to make him feel comfortable. However, things got bad when Sarper had one of his bad moods. Sarper did not acknowledge Shekina making such huge adjustments to her life for him to live with her. She packed her entire workspace and moved it out to a different space. Shekina couldn't even leave during arguments because Sarper was in America now, and he knew Shekina would have nowhere to escape to. Still, it's 90 Day Fiancé's Sarper who somehow gets all the sympathy. 500 body count, 90 Day Fiancé star. Sarper's an awful partner, her family will never forgive him. Sarper Güven from 90 Day Fiancé may have a humorous and engaging personality, but he may not be the best husband material. Sarper first met Shekina Garner in Istanbul, Turkey, after they matched on a dating app. Their first meeting went well, but Sarper didn't anticipate their relationship progressing further than a one-night stand. However, their casual encounter evolved into a serious, committed relationship. Sarper and Shekina decided to showcase their unique love story in 90 Day Fiancé, The Other Way Season 5, where they appeared overly focused on their physical appearances. Sarper, a personal trainer, wanted Shekina to maintain a specific weight and wear outfits he preferred. In one scene, he brought out a scale to measure Shekina's weight, even though she was hesitant. At the same time, Shekina tried to control Sarper by asking him to stop training female clients and acknowledge their relationship on social media. Despite their seeming lack of compatibility, the couple eventually got engaged in 90 Day Fiancé, The Other Way Season 6. Shekina filed for Sarper's K-1 visa, and he moved from Turkey to the United States. Sarper's sexist bragging is a red flag. Sarper has little regard for Shekina. Sarper and Shekina are currently featured in 90 Day Fiancé Season 11, and their relationship is deteriorating. They are now questioning whether they want to marry each other. Sarper claims to have left his bad boy past behind and become a kind gentleman, but his actions towards Shekina show otherwise. Despite claiming to love her, Sarper lacks respect for Shekina. He seems to use emotional manipulation to keep her in his life, treating her as a trophy. Sarper frequently boasts about his past of being intimate with 2,500 women, which is concerning to Shekina and viewers alike. Recently, Sarper met Shekina's family intending to make a good impression on them. While he apologized for his past aggressive behavior towards Shekina, his apology seemed insincere. Sarper shouldn't have tried to justify his actions by claiming that all men are feisty, and he is just a tough man. Shekina's sisters were willing to give him a chance but took his words with a grain of salt. They may refuse to welcome him into their family if he doesn't change his bad boy behavior. Shekina's sisters are strong-willed women who won't be swayed by Sarper's smooth talking. Sarper always threatens to leave her. Sarper directs his anger at Shekina. Understandably, Sarper has been feeling lonely since moving to the United States. He can't maintain the same routine he had in Turkey and doesn't have a driving license, which leads to feelings of depression. However, it's wrong for him to take out his frustration on Shekina. Blaming Shekina for their relationship problems while ignoring his disrespectful behavior towards her is unjust. Sarper doesn't appear happy in America and frequently mentions how easy it would be for him to end their relationship and return to his home country. Sarper says she'll cry for years if he leaves. Sarper refuses to accept his mistakes. In a recent episode of 90 Day Fiancé Season 11, Sarper and Shekina discussed their problems. She mentioned that he was behaving recklessly in their relationship. Instead of acknowledging his mistake, Sarper told Shekina, "If we break up, you will cry for years for me. I know you. I am the most perfect match for you." Sarper refuses to admit his faults, and Shekina's family has noticed that. It appears the 90 Day Fiancé cast member may not be ready to commit as a husband and is quick to consider leaving at the first sign of difficulty. 90 Day Fiancé signs Shekina Garner and Sarper Güven will stay together despite their major drama. Shekina Garner and Sarper Güven's relationship may be breaking down on 90 Day Fiancé Season 11, but the embattled couple hasn't called it quits just yet. Shekina and Sarper have experienced numerous ups and downs since they first appeared on 90 Day Fiancé, The the other way. Shekina had trouble grappling with Sarper's playboy past, and they both struggled with trust issues. Their arguments often turned explosive and nasty. Their engagement seemed to turn over a new leaf, but even after Sarper moved to Los Angeles to begin his life with Shekina, old patterns re-emerged. Sarper and Shekina continue to be photographed together in LA. Sarper's residency in the US suggests they're already married. While Shekina has spoken out on social media about the problems in her relationship, recent sightings suggest the couple is still very much together. Sarper included Shekina a Mother's Day photo alongside his own mother, and Shekina commented, "Love your sweet mama." The pair continues to spend time with Sarper's family, and they were recently spotted with his parents in Las Vegas in a photograph shared by Shaboodi. These photographs not only confirm that Sarper and Shekina are still on good terms, but they also drop a major hint about their marital status. Sarper is clearly still living in Los Angeles, which means he and Shekina must have gotten married. Furthermore, Shaboodi pointed out that Sarper's wedding ring is visible. The proud display of wedding rings suggests that the breakup rumors are false and Sarper and Shekina are still romantically involved. Shekinah and Sarper.